You're now listening to episode 92 of Signed In, an Xbox 360 podcast, recorded on April 28th, 2012. Find us online at signedinpodcast.com. Welcome back to Signed In. I am Jeremy Superfro 33.
I'm Craig Prop Dresser.
And I'm Sean Shonix.
And we're all goofy.
Goofy?
I'm
more mini today.
It's taken us about 20 minutes to start the show.
Yeah.
How is that any different than normal?
I don't know, but all 20 minutes of that should be available as an extra download.
For the low, low price.
As long as people
charge for that good stuff.
That's what I just said, $3.99.
Yeah. As long as people don't mind racism, prejudice, all around just being inappropriate.
Yeah.
That's what we were doing.
We're humanitarians.
That's
what it's called, right?
That's what I like to say. I'm a humanitarian. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Not too shabby.
Good.
Not terrible, but not great.
I'm really tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I might take a nap.
Call it a day.
I might take a nap.
I was up playing games late last night, so I'm a little bit on
doing
that
your
side
homework.
Too. Yeah.
Cramming.
I
more
really-
like it, probably.
Well, a couple things came out yesterday that
That's
I
true.
didn't have
That
time
is
to.
true.
I didn't have time to play before today.
What's up with all these Friday fucking releases?
I know. Thanks a lot, Dicks. Don't they know I have stuff to do?
That's because there's so much XBLA stuff coming out. They can't put it all out on Wednesday, I guess.
That's all I have this week, I think.
This is XBLA?
Yeah.
I got a ton of it
Mostly.
myself.
Yeah.
Nice.
No disc games.
What do you got?
I've got a couple indie, like 3 indie, a smattering of indie.
I think you're going to be solo on indie.
I think so.
Nice. I'm back. That I've got tried out a couple of the new XBLA games. Walking Dead, Bloodforge.
Bloodforge.
Yes,
You know,
yes. A
If
couple
you want to
DLC
make swords
stuff.
out of blood, you got to go to the Bloodforge.
Some hybrid beta.
Ooh.
Got a code for that, so I've been
Nice.
playing some of that. Not as much as I could because it started on Friday, so I was hoping to get a good chunk in. So,
But you had to wait.
Yeah, yeah.
I hear you.
I hate that when they let you download the code and then they're like, "Oh, servers don't work. See you again later. Come back." I'm like, "No, just work today.
No.
I have time."
What about you, Craig? What do you got?
Most of that stuff, I think I might touch back on World Gone Sour and Anomaly Warzone Earth because I purchased both of those after the
Nice.
last show.
And there is never enough. I mean, you can never give enough time to
Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids related games.
I also have some DLC for Toy Soldiers Cold War, Napalm in my house.
I had the Evil Empire.
Evil
I didn't
Empire.
say
Nice.
that. Yeah.
And then I also tried out the Dragon's Dogma demo. That's my only other
I'm
addition.
looking forward to hear about that.
Yes, I'm looking forward to talking about it. I did not get to, unfortunately, I did not get to play the 4 new episodes for Asura's Wrath.
Oh, is
which
this
came
gonna-
out this week?
Is this going to come back to being my fault?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
because I have to say I bought it in advance just for the sheer hope that maybe for some reason Mr. Superfro would go, "Hey, I'm finished with the game. I'll drop it off." And yeah, so I bought DLC for a game that I couldn't even play.
Let me tell you what.
No, I wasn't expecting to get it back anytime. Look at me talking like it's mine. Never
I know,
mind.
exactly. I appreciate the loan from Craig. I got about halfway through the game.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to finish it.
Aw.
But that's because my week kind of went to shit. So I was doing other things, and I wasn't getting a lot of game playing done, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
When I let everybody down. But not that I haven't already.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got some more to say about Fez. I've got also some Bloodforge. I also took a look at some Trials Evolution,
yes,
which
yeah.
I'll have a
I
little bit to
forgot that
talk
came
about. And The Walking Dead,
Yes.
of course, as well. And I took a look at The Witcher 2, which I was planning on. I didn't get as much time with it as I wanted to, but we'll get to that, I guess. And Prototype 2, which I finally got to sit down with last night and today. So
Nice.
I'll have some of those to talk about, and some Asura's Wrath that
Excellent.
I didn't get to
Nice.
finish. That
Cool.
I have brought back for you today.
Even
It's
so,
here
I
with
still
me.
want to hear your thoughts about it because of the three of us,
I think it's terrible. Do you still want to hear it?
I wasn't sure if you were the one who would like it at all.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would if I was to pick which one of us would not like it, it would be Jeremy.
Yeah.
Why?
Because of just the content.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but it's crazy balls to the wall.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
No, I don't want to talk about it now. You guys have formed your opinions. I think we should go with that. Here's what we'll do. When we get to that segment, actually, why don't you guys tell me what I thought about it?
I like this.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. We'll see how they match up. It's like the fucking Newlywed Game over here.
Do we have to leave?
I'll write
real
it
quick
down.
To write it down.
No, I'll write it down.
Okay. All right.
It's got to be a complete match. Has to be like exactly what I wrote though.
Whoopi.
I hate
making
those
making whoopee.
Yeah, remember we can't say anything bad, so making whoopee. And everything's got to be a euphemism for something.
Yes.
I think that's
where's
pretty much par for
Nipsey
the
when we
course
need
here.
him?
If your bedroom was a vacation, what kind of luggage would your husband pack? Would it be an overnight bag?
What does that even mean?
I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
It's all. Every question is dick size. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Spoiler for the Newlywed Game. Every question is where you had sex and dick size.
Oh, Whoopi.
All right. So
Goldberg?
She needs to be on. She needs to be the host of the new Newlywed Game. I think they've already had
All
3
right.
of them already.
I think we need to move on.
We'll get back on
I don't
track.
think so. I think this is the new show.
Okay. Newlywed Game.
Dissecting
Where we propose potential TV shows.
or dissecting existing game shows.
Okay, fair enough.
Press your luck.
It's not too far
Hollywood
off from our
Squares?
regular
Oh
show.
man, pressure your luck. They need to do that. Come back.
They
out
did
with
do
that
that,
one.
and it was terrible.
Oh, they need to do it right then. Never mind.
All right,
Anyway.
indie guy.
Indie guy.
It's all you. Let's talk about some
We're
ba-
looking
video
over at
games.
you.
Ender. All right. So I've got Drive Fast, Think Faster, which I should have stayed away from this game when it said Think Faster. But it says it's by Zebra Games _0. Sold for 80 points, and this is a racing game, but it's a lot like. You want to get from point A to point B in a certain amount of time. You can control your speed by using your joystick, so you can slow down or speed it up by going left and right.
Okay.
The only thing, the trick, the little think fast thing is the buttons on your controller coincide with the colors on the track. So when you make it to a point, because not all the track's usually white, and there's points throughout the track that all of a sudden are one color. And if you're not in that color, you'll stop or fall through the track. And then there's multiple tracks that come up, and if you choose the wrong one, you might
I'm remembering
hit
the
a dead
screenshots
end.
now, yeah.
Yeah, it's a game that really I was like, I'll download and try it out because the screenshots were they seemed a little confusing.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe it might be fun, and it's those kind of games where like I should be smarter than this game, and like I should be doing, because I like the fact that you can slow the car down and go with speed, but the problem is you see all these like gold medals go by you because they have a line that shows like if you make it past that line, if you stay in front of it, you're going to get a gold medal if you finish the game. So those go flying past you, and you're like, okay, well I better catch up. I had a lot of fun with
I gotta
it.
get that candy.
Yeah, exactly.
My treat.
Whoa, it's like it's dangling in front of me. But I mean, I had fun with it. It is 80 points. It's kind of simple. The graphics are simple, but I thought it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Another one is Unnecessary Violence. This is from Takimon, I believe it is, or Takemon. Anyway, sold for 80 points. It's kind of... It's a driving game where you're just blowing up cars in front of you. You have machine guns, rockets, and you got to kill like enemies that they show up on the screen, kind of like it's kind of got a Spy Hunter type vibe to it in that
sounds
way.
like it, yeah.
But you don't have to worry about oil slicks too much. Some landmines maybe. At the demo I was only able to play through with landmines, machine guns, and rockets. But it looked like there was other weapons available.
Options.
But I didn't buy it, and I played through on the time. I thought the graphics were I thought the gameplay was slow. The graphics were kind of had a nice polish to them. But I don't know. That one's one I might go back and purchase that one because it was only $1 and you just blow up stuff, and it's kind of just it's minimal fun, but I was enjoying it.
I would like to blow up things when I drive.
Yeah,
So it's good, right?
Yeah, and you
You can unwind.
Yeah.
Instead of just using a little electronic keychain.
And I thought maybe like if you blew up cars that didn't have some have icons on them, but those were just to blow up for like to fix your car. So you can just blow up every car that you see in front of you.
And there's no penalty for that?
Not that I saw. But then again, I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to my HUD.
He was still not thinking fast.
I was like, I like this one better because I don't have to pay attention to the track. I just shoot things. And last in the indie corner here is Insane Zombie Carnage. And this was from Geeks. It sold for 80 points. Has the old school like Joust Mario Brothers type screen, you know, where you have your different levels that you jump up and you're shooting enemies.
I like that you brought up Joust.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't like it.
Why?
I don't know.
Joust is awesome.
It's contrarian.
But and
Ride
then
giant bird things.
yeah, ostrich riding and
Get the eggs.
jousting. So you're jumping around and you're picking up multiple
Zombie Joust.
you're picking up multiple weapons and you're just killing zombies. I thought I liked it. It was
So they're just coming in like
just-
they would on the
they're
Mario
just-
games.
Yeah,
and
they're
stuff?
just dropping down from the top, and some of them run really fast, some of them don't, and it's really neat because some of the weapons are really cool, and you just pick them up randomly. You know, if you find one, it's like a rocket or. You know, so what game was it where we were talking where like the recoil would send you back a little bit?
Loads of guns.
Loads of guns, and it was around that, but you're not. It's not moving up and down.
Sure,
so that's the good part. Like you don't have to worry about falling in lava.
So what are these neat weapons? Like a waffle iron gun?
Not that neat. They're just regular guns, like machine guns.
Oh,
and
okay.
You pick up swords, and I didn't know they were swords because I thought I was just like, I don't know, doing something. And then I went up to somebody, hit it, and it killed him. I'm like, oh, it must be a sword. So
You sound dangerous.
I know. I when I play these games, the only thing that I would have thought would really sell me on the game if it was like a 2-player, like a multiplayer game. I think we'd have a lot of fun with it that way, even if it was like just a little co-op, not even an online multiplayer.
Yeah.
But 80 points. I thought the graphics were really good. The weapons were fun. So
Cool.
that's all I got from Indy.
That's all we got for Indy.
All right.
I don't
It was
know.
a compact little version.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I feel weird.
Let's do some arcade.
Let's do some.
I'll touch on some old stuff.
Yes.
World Gone Sour first, because you know we love the Sour Patch Kids here.
I do. I do, technically. I do love Sour Patch Kids.
Well, why technically?
Well, because I don't love this game, but
Oh, okay.
but I love the actual
You tried
thing.
the game, right?
I did try the demo out.
Oh, what's the matter with it?
Okay. I don't know if anything's the matter with it.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it was okay. I kind of ran into some problems with some of the controlling.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Okay.
And maybe it was like some of those trampolines you would hit and have
Yeah.
to jump, and like sometimes like falling, I would pick up a lot of speed and not be landing where I thought I was going to
Oh,
land.
okay, sure.
And I don't know if it was just like little
You can double jump.
minute. Yeah, and I kind of had some problems with that too in some places where I would hit it.
I do
and it seemed like
occasionally-
I would kept jumping, or
I do occasionally have problems with the double jump. Like
it wouldn't like trigger right.
Yeah.
It almost feels like there's a certain. You don't have to do it right away.
No.
You can do it as you're kind of falling and kind of do an arch.
Right.
But I found some points where I would hit it and I thought I'd be fine, and it didn't kick in or activate. So I don't know if there's a certain part of the arc that if you're like lower than that, it doesn't count anymore.
Maybe.
as part as not doing
That's
another
possible.
double jump. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was okay. I thought it was a lot different. It was a much more adult feel than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, isn't
the
it?
commentary part with like
Yeah.
Creed talking about all that stuff was a little more adult than I thought it was going
Yeah.
to be, because I thought this was going to be totally a kids like family all ages game.
not really.
And it's not when he's talking about things looking like the thing he saw in your mom's bedroom drawer.
Right.
And
Whoa.
and like them saying even like things like hell
Yeah.
and things like that, and I was like just really surprised.
Right.
Like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, I don't know. I thought this was a kid's game. What the hell is this? So
not
anyway,
really, yeah.
it's not. I was surprised by that.
One thing I forgot to mention last time when I talked about it, I think, is that you can actually throw the Sour Patch Kids that you are finding around, and at first I was a little worried about doing that, and so I was hesitant to do that unless it was like for a Switch and I knew I could get them back because I wanted to get the points that you get at the end for
Because if you throw them at an enemy, they die, right? Or like
they disappear, but they actually reappear next
They
to
come
you.
back, right?
Yeah. So
Oh.
so then I was throwing them with impunity. I was like,
because now they're your weapon.
well, yeah, and you get bonuses for killing them in different ways, or
Yeah.
sacrifices, sour sacrifices, or something. And there's 8 for each level, and so if you get all 8, then you get massive bonus points at the end.
Yeah, I noticed when I was dying, there was
cool.
something that was popping up that was
Yeah.
filling in some silhouettes that showed
for
different ways to
melting
die.
them and getting them sliced and getting them squished, all that
Nice.
stuff. So that once I figured that out, it was a lot easier and a lot more fun. It gets hard. I still haven't finished the game. It's
Wow.
Let me tell you what, I got to the end of that demo and I saw some of the gameplay they were showing, and that's where I was kind of like, some of this looks annoying.
It's a pretty hardcore platformer.
Yeah.
I don't think it's annoying. I think it's just a very serious platformer. And again, I'm very surprised. It's a licensed product tie-in, and so
Right.
you would think that they could just kind of phone it in and
it's a $5 game.
make it.
Yeah.
Hey, what? That's right. I forgot it was fun.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
There's all these things going against it that would tell you up front that it's not
Right.
good.
but it's pretty serious, and it's actually quite a bit of fun for me at least.
Well, that's good.
But yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. I do occasionally have a double jump problem. But,
Yeah.
But most of the time it's fine. Runs fine for me. But
Cool.
And there's still just candy running around. It's odd. It's just an odd concept to me still.
it's so cool.
It's so weird.
And it's got the video in there as an extra. In
Does
case
it?
you wanted to. Yeah.
I'll get right on that.
You could watch it.
Okay.
I know you love it.
I do. Did you want to talk about your other game as well?
Oh, sure. Anomaly Warzone Earth.
Yeah.
I purchased that one. If you've forgotten, this is the tower offense game where this alien ship has crashed into Baghdad and one in Tokyo as well. And so you're part of this front-running military squad that's going in to kind of investigate. And really cool stuff going on in there. I don't think I talked about upgrading your units. So, you can purchase new units as you're playing, so you don't have to wait till the beginning. You don't have to restart and all that. And you can move things around, and you can sell them for full price, so you can get all the money back, including upgrades on them.
That's
That's
awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
That you don't ever get that anymore. It's always at a discount.
Yeah.
Like part of the amount that you get back,
Yeah, exactly.
Makes you really think
toy
about
soldiers and all those.
Makes you really think what you're placing.
Right.
Yeah.
But since this is runs in a little different way, because you only have your one tiny squad and you have to get through an entire death zone, basically. Yeah, it gives you a little more leeway with that. Plus, I think I was playing on casual instead of harder, so I don't know. It might not give you as much back on a harder difficulty setting.
Some people call that Super Pro mode.
Some people do, but
assholes.
Easy. Normal is not super FOMO.
I
He
said
said casual.
Oh, well, yeah. Never mind. I'm sorry. I heard wrong. That's right. I'm sorry.
Some people call that shawning.
But there are a lot of interesting enemies. Like there are these
Sounds wrong.
there are these bases that shoot out. They don't actually attack you, but they'll fire this energy beam, and then it'll like hit in the area, especially if you're walking next to your troops, and then it creates this dome. And if you are inside this dome and your troops are inside this dome, then they'll start attacking you. It's called a hacker. And so
that's awesome.
But you have to get out. So you have to get out of there until they're out of there, and then and although you're supposed to use that in some areas in order to prevent them from attacking things, so they'll get distracted. And there are these other ones that absorb power from your little combat suit deployments. You know, so if you drop like a repair sphere or something like that, then it'll suck power out of that, and if it reaches like a critical mass, then it kind of explodes out, and this wave goes out, and it replaces all of the turrets that have been destroyed.
Wow.
I call that the fucker. but that one's really easy to. So usually whenever I see that on the map, because you can look on the map and you can pretty much figure out what things are based on their shapes, and I run over there and then I drop like a bombing run next to it, and it gets blown up in like one bombing run.
Nice.
So there are a lot of really neat strategies, and so I find myself running away from my troops as they're marching through, and then I come back to them. And although I do find that I rely on a lot of the same tactics over and over again, like there are a variety of different attackers, but most of the time I just rely on the crawlers, which are these walking mechs that shoot rockets, and then if you upgrade them to 3 stars, then basically they can take out one of the basic turrets in one shot. Yeah, and then I stick like a shield in between them, and then other stuff on top of that. So I was getting a little repetitive with that, but there are a lot of different other. So you go to Tokyo, and Tokyo is very different. They give you a lot of different sorts of objectives. You have to get across this bridge without getting noticed, or you have to get through this area in a certain amount of time. And then once you complete the parts of the campaign, then it unlocks these challenge modes. The Baghdad one is basically just survive waves, and so then they create these generators and some new turrets, and you can destroy the turrets, but you have a certain time limit that you have to destroy the generator in. And then once you do that, then a new generator will pop up and new turrets. And so you just keep going through. Those are your waves, and more and more will pop up. I guess there are a set number of waves. The basic one is 10 waves, and then there's a rearmed version that is 18 waves or something.
Okay.
The Tokyo one is called Tokyo Raid, and it functions in a very different way. Instead, you're basically just trying to move forward as much as possible, but you go into these different city areas, and you'll have different objectives in each one. So, for example, it's like, we got to get rid of these behemoth, turrets. And so that's your objective, and you can't go across the bridge until that. Sometimes it's like, this looks like a good place to upgrade, so you just fucking run around and grab stuff so that you can get money and, upgrade. Or, we have to get across this bridge in 2 minutes. And so you really have to strategize, because I don't think I talked about how you sort of determine the route for your troops. But if you press the Y button, then it brings up like this hollow map of the area. And so at every intersection, you can choose a different direction, and then you string that together to kind of create a path that you're going to follow. Now, you'll probably change your path before you get all the way through it.
Sure.
But one of the neat things about it is that if you go to any node on that path, it'll give you your ETA, your estimated time of arrival for that.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and if you're going to a major objective, it'll give you your ETA to that major objective as well. So if it's like they're like, you gotta get across the bridge in 2 minutes, and then you can make sure that. I'm like, oh, I want to walk over here and shoot some things first, and then walk over here, and then like, oop,
that's like a 4-minute walk.
Yeah, that's like 2 minutes 15 seconds. I got to cut something off there. So
that's cool.
You can really massage that around. But I liked it a lot. I'm still playing around with it. I haven't finished. The Tokyo raid is actually quite difficult, mostly because I want to wipe everything out. So I walk around. Yeah, I know. Well, and another problem is that you can pull the triggers down to speed time up because your troops move at a pretty moderate pace. But unfortunately, I also use that to kind of give me the illusion of running. I think it's running. And
but it's not because it's speeding up everything.
Yeah, it speeds up everything. And so then by the time I get back there, like they're blowing up like my good stuff, and I'm like, shit. Well, and they'll drop in like an escort mission every once in a while, and I have to remember to check the order of things because they'll drop like the escort truck next to my shield, which is smart, except when it pushes like my best fighter out from under the shield.
Oh,
and so
and then he's exposed.
And so then I'm just walking along and I'm like, oh, we're getting killed here. I'm like, what? And then shit. So but I like it a lot. Again, only $10. There's quite a bit of fun. I think there's 13 levels in the main campaign, and then quite a bit to play in the additional modes.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that I forgot to check it out because I really like the concept idea, and I'm going to check it out. So
I think you should. I think you'll.
I'm glad to hear that you picked it up.
To tell you what you think, you're gonna like it.
Well, it's just a preview of our next segment later on. I want to touch back on some Fez as well.
Okay.
I know you've completed it since we've talked about it on the last episode. I have not gotten anywhere close to completing it, but I've gotten farther.
Yeah.
And it's. I've kind of changed my opinion on it. I still love it.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it's too smart. It's almost at a detriment to itself. I think.
Sure.
Like where it's like I feel like I want to tell everybody this game's amazing. It's awesome. It's this throwback feeling.
Right.
And then I get further into it and like get below the surface, which you have to do at some point.
Right.
And so once you start getting below the surface, you're like, hey, you might not like this game I recommend.
Yeah.
It's a lot more in depth than I thought it was going to be. And so, there's still these, I don't know, I'm having fun with it. I'm trying to figure things out. I've been able to decipher some of the stuff. I've gotten a little more in depth.
Good.
I don't feel that it's possible to do without having to go to external sources. Like, I don't think that somebody can sit there on their couch and solve 100%.
No.
Like, you can't. And that's kind of a bummer to me.
Oh,
and it's not just talking about the QR codes. It's talking about... Yeah, I talked about last episode. I like the idea of going on and talking to people about it and figuring things out. But it's not just that simple either. There's some complicated bullshit in this game, and there's some things that are like almost kind of misleading too. Where I don't know, it's just hard to pinpoint.
Yeah, they can be. Yeah.
What are you finding about it? Did you finished it?
Yeah,
I'm assuming you had to get some.
I found some stuff. Yeah. There's
because there's some crazy shit.
Yeah, the final puzzle is like still unclear,
and that's a problem, right? I mean,
well, yeah.
If that's like
but it's not essential for the game.
No, but it's
not even essential for any achievements. It's not essential for even 100% because it gets you. If you get everything, it's 209.4%.
I think one of the ones I had to go find was talking about these lights that blink in a certain pattern. That if you then convert that to a computer code,
that's bullshit. I got that. I got that by doing left and right triggers.
Okay, good.
Spoiler.
Jesus Christ.
No, because there's a lot of stuff to do with left and right triggers, right?
Yeah,
for spinning stuff around, and so I just did that way.
Okay, good.
That's bullshit.
Well, it was. There's another one that's like that shows two lights that are blinking.
Oh wait, what?
But there's this other one that's just these red lights that blink.
Yeah.
That you then have to convert that blinking into like a computer code. And that
I
tells
read that
you,
too. But
is it the same thing, you think?
Is that the telescope?
I don't think so. I think it was something else. But regardless, there's a lot of shit to me that seems really unintuitive. There is just a number of things that seem like they're just really complex and convoluted.
Right.
And to the point where I can't figure it out because I'm simple.
Yeah. but you can get to everything achievement wise, and ostensibly you can get through the game without all that extra stuff.
Well, can you though? Because isn't one of the achievements getting everything?
I guess there's one for getting all the collectibles,
and there's just so much stuff. Here's the thing: soundtrack's awesome.
It is pretty good.
I love the soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack because they released it finally.
Yeah,
and I love it. I listen to it all the time.
Did you experience the game getting glitchy?
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was starting to get frustratingly glitchy.
I agree, and that was part of the problem too, where you would like start to just. It would freeze up or stutter, and when you're in a game like that, that
I
has
get kicked out of the room multiple times again. That happened to me again.
Here's the thing too, and it's been out for a while now. Hopefully, this isn't too much of a spoiler. But if you haven't played and you're going to, I think anybody who's going to play has already. But it also does some things like funny wise as far as the system and like the game kind of puts you back to the menu at a couple different points, and it's really funny, and I really liked how they did it. Except
when it actually kicks you out to your game library.
Here's where that trick doesn't work in a game. It's brilliant until you don't have actual bugs that fuck up your game and kick you back to your library, and then it just points out, oh yeah, your game is also broke. So it did it one time where it kicked me back, because I finished the game and it kind of does a thing where it reboots and I'm like, oh, that's clever, blah, blah, does this stuff. Yeah. And then it actually kicked me back to my, shortly thereafter, it kicked me back to my dashboard when I went to continue my game, my new game plus, and it just went back to my dashboard. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not as clever. That is problematic.
Yeah.
Now I got to load up the game again, and hopefully everything's okay. That's the only time I've been booted out. But I've heard a lot of other people that had problems with it.
I've had it happen a handful of times.
And in a platformer, when you're jumping around, you don't want it to have it freeze up.
No.
Which has happened multiple times, too.
Yeah, I don't think I've had it freeze, thankfully.
Well, I've had it stutter, I should say, is what I mean.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I go to jump, and it, like, all of a sudden doesn't move, and I'm like, what the fuck? I guess I'm in that pit now. But there's some amazing sections in that game, even as I was getting frustrated, and I was going through and researching some stuff. And here's the other thing. Once I've deciphered things, I now understand it, okay? I know that this is it, and now I'm like, somebody just fucking tell me. I don't want to sit here with my pen and paper. Like, I know that this is the alphabet. I know I've converted. I can convert it. I put it online like 8 different places, but I felt every time that I was doing it, because half of the things don't mean anything.
Right.
So like 90% of the things I'm deciphering this huge long thing, and it's like fucking Christmas story.
I mostly ignore it.
Like it's like, be sure to what? What do I have to do in this room? Be sure to... drink your Ovaltine.
I mostly ignore the alphabet stuff, but yeah.
Nice.
Because I tried to decipher it out. I'm like, this is going to mean something. And I'm like...
some of it does.
Some of it does. But then it's like, that's the point where I'm like, since I know what I have to do, I'm just going to get the fucking answer because I don't have time.
Yeah.
My 3 pages of notebooks here, like with fucking letters and symbols and directions.
It was your guys' talk about it. It's not that it's a bad, not that it's a bad game, but your guys' talk about it made me go, I've played through the demo, and that's as good as I'm gonna do, because it's just too much for me. Well, the demo is too much for me.
I feel after playing it more, it is too much for a lot of people.
But
I sincerely think that.
But it still looked awesome.
But I love the music.
Sound looked,
and exactly. I'll tell you what, that I went into a room. Ridiculous. I went into one last thing on it. I went into this room that you can't really see what's going on, and it's driven by the music. I love that fucking room. It's like pink and blue.
Yeah.
That room was amazing.
Yeah,
that room made me, like, that's when I had dealt with all this stuff all night, like looking up these things and doing all this shit, and I'm like, oh, I'm so frustrated.
Yeah.
And I go in this room and I'm like, oh, I can't even see where I'm going. And I'm like, wait, the music's tying into like the gameplay, and that is awesome. So that made it all worthwhile again. I loved it.
Yeah.
So it's a love-hate with me.
Yeah.
I want to finish it out, but I don't think I'm going to do it without help. And I really wanted to. I really wanted to.
It's like Fez from That 70s Show. It's a love-hate. I loved but hated that guy.
I don't watch that show.
I don't either. I was just tying something in some way, somehow. Can we segue that way, 70?
Sure. Bloodforge?
Yeah, that works.
So what do you guys think of Bloodforge? I'm assuming nobody picked it up.
1,200 points.
It is 1,200
points.
points.
Otherwise.
You thought better things to do with your 1,200 points?
No, you considered a bunch of other stuff that was coming out, and they were all like at that $5-10 price range, and then you're like, and then you look at this one, you're like, oh, I'll try it out, and then you're like, okay, yeah.
I think it's a really poor demo.
Yes,
It's a really poor demo.
it's too bad
because
it might have been good.
largely, well, one, there's no discernible story, am
Correct.
I right? Yeah, it's
You're
but they advertise it as a really compelling story, but
None
they
of
don't
which we're going to show you.
They don't give you anything, and then you walk into another room and you fight 11 guys. Is it exactly 11? Because they offer you that 10 guy achievement.
Yes, that's right.
and then one more.
That's how they get you.
And then it's over.
Right.
And that big-
It literally is just like telling you how to
And
melee.
it doesn't even tutor you on everything. Yeah, because I had to figure some of this stuff out. I was like playing around with the crossbow on my own.
Yeah, yeah.
and-
Oh, you have a crossbow?
Yeah, you have a crossbow.
Yep. Exactly.
They literally tell you like a weak melee attack with your
terrible.
sword, a strong melee attack,
And
and
then-
the dodge.
And you
Yeah.
dodge.
And
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
The game might be fun itself, but the demo does not put its best
Help it.
foot forward.
No.
at
Well,
all.
I was not. I think it's just too stylized too. I think they tried too
It's
hard.
really heavy.
because it's a little bit on the
Every-
murky durky side.
Whenever I see someone talking about it, they're like, "Oh, it's like a mature graphic novel." And I'm like, "Oh,
It's like a mature graphic novel.
no, it's like someone wanted to,
300.
no, it's like someone that
Exactly.
wanted to do 300 and we're like, okay, we're gonna make it look like this, but let's make it grittier. It's like the spirit.
What's
that's
everything?
mature."
We're gonna have it be Celtic.
Yeah.
I also like how the dude's just hanging around with a skull on his head all the time.
Yeah.
All
I just like,
Wasn't everybody?
the whole crew, yeah,
They were
even-
all
yeah.
Had something on their head.
They all
That's
had
true.
the skull.
yeah, but they were attacking.
people.
That's true.
They were in battle.
This is a good guy.
Because the guys that got,
I guess. I don't know.
well, the guy that he was dreaming about, and those dudes that cast him out or were pointing at him and going, "You're bad." Yeah, they had skull things.
Wouldn't it be great if that was like you don't because they don't tell you anything about the story. So wouldn't it be great if you play that
Nothing.
game and so you buy it and you turn out you are the bad guy? Like they kicked you out because you killed a bunch of kids or something, and so now you're like they're attacking you to try and stop you, and you're like the one that burned that town or whatever they showed. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I would love to do that. And you're like, wait, am I playing like this big asshole?
kills a deer.
You are.
Yeah, you are. You're an asshole.
I don't know. It was a poor representation.
And the camera for it had a bad camera working on that game too. There at times
can't
during
remember
the
if
fighting,
What's the problem for me or not?
I would do a dodge roll, and then the next thing you know, the
Do a
camera
barrel roll.
or a barrel roll, and then the next thing you know, you're like behind somebody, but then the camera would go, "Oh wait, I'm coming," and then you're like
I'm gonna get
slashing, and then your guy's slashing this way, and then he turns towards the guy, and let me fight that Cyclops thing.
Yeah,
That's all the demo could have done. Let me fight that.
I would tell you what, he came out of that ground, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to
You
because
shit yourself.
no, I thought he looked like a big penis.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I'm not alone, right?
No, like
Why?
that was.
because I couldn't see his face at first, and he looked like a big dick.
Well, it did have that big bulbous head type thing,
Yes.
and it had the one eye,
Right.
And then it's like, and then it cuts away, and I didn't know it was a Cyclops until they showed
showed
like
the picture
a
of it?
picture of it,
Yeah,
and it's all
same
big
here.
and stuff, and it's shooting a laser out of its
Yeah.
eye, essentially.
It looked like a big dong.
Yeah. Because I was like, no, because I was like, what am I supposed to fight now? Because I don't know what that thing was.
I thought maybe I was playing Dante's Inferno thing again when I had the lady with the little creature things that came out of her nipples. Maybe he's a big dick monster. I don't know.
Leisure Suit Inferno.
Totally is. Hey, here's the other thing. Bad PR campaign. Maybe you could give us a review copy, and then we wouldn't have to shit all over
Yeah, well,
it. Maybe we could have experienced more
No,
of it.
the demo. I think they really need to
It
go back
is
to work on
bad.
the demo because
I wonder if there was a Rush situation there. I don't know.
they were listening to Rush albums.
yeah,
That could do it,
exactly.
but-
Because I think this comic's been sitting on a comic. I call it a comic, but I think
Well,
this
it's because it's a graphic novel.
It is, exactly. It's
like a mature graphic
It's
novel.
called Bloodforge. This thing was made in the fucking 90s, and it's been sitting on someone's desk. Like, let's make a game of it. Because look at the way he's dressed and everything.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're right. It is like a 90s fantasy game.
Nope.
That's awesome.
Bloodforge.
Well, another one that I checked out. Did anybody else take a look at Trials Evolution?
No, I did not.
I didn't because of
Trials
Trials HD.
drove
Yeah.
me nuts.
Yeah, here's the thing. I really like the idea of Trials more than I like the
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
like
same
I
here.
like it for about 10 minutes. So I purchased Trials late
Yeah.
into the game, or late after it had been out, and I think it was
Bandwagoner,
on
I think it's
sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was on sale, so I picked it up. But I never even got probably halfway through the game because I got frustrated.
Right.
So I kind of skipped Trials Evolution, even though everybody's freaking playing it.
Yeah.
So I finally checked it out this week, or it just came out this week, or last
They got a lot more stylistic stuff in there, don't
Yeah.
They do, and so that's what I like about it.
I think I saw like a limbo-like level
There
or
is,
something.
and it's awesome looking. I saw a video of that online. There's,
That's
and
cool.
I think there's an Explosion Man one too.
Yeah.
But there's so it's all silhouetted and it's going through like the limbo land, and it's
awesome.
awesome looking.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of it's outside, and there's crazy shit, and it looks fantastic.
And user-created content on the Xbox,
Yeah.
which is not very common.
And I was having a really good time with it. But I know where that's going to go. Like
Yeah,
I'm sitting there going, well, I should, if I want a reminder, I'll go back and play Trials HD. Then remind myself why I shouldn't spend $15 on this right now. You know what I mean? Okay. But I really like it. Looked amazing. I like the competitiveness of that kind of game.
Yeah.
I don't think
'Cause
I'm
there's
good
also-
enough. But
Did you say the multiplayer?
there is multiplayer.
Yeah,
on it, yeah.
there's multiplayer now.
Yep. And you know, of course, obviously being able to see everybody's little names when you're going through the course and they all
Yeah.
go flying past you
Yeah.
when you die like 8 times, and I'm like, fuck this.
Visually, I thought it looked. I mean, that's the thing is like the screenshots and everything. I mean, nothing to deter me, but it's just the game itself is that I'm like, bye, sorry.
Yeah, there was one that you were going on this like roller coaster track thing,
See?
and that stuff was really awesome
See,
looking.
that's cool.
And they do some really cool like death things at the end when you get to the end and they just kill the guy in weird ass ways, like shoot him off somewhere, drop atomic bombs on him. So I just sit there because it's fun to kind of finish, and then you're like, what are they gonna do to him?
Nice.
And they drop like a piano on him, and because it's just a crazy shit. One time they drop atomic bombs, and I don't know, it's nuts. But I did a couple of the other in the demo. They allow you to do a couple of the side game things that they do.
Yeah.
And there's one that's like this big metal ball that you're rolling along a course that you kind of have to maneuver around and see how far you can go. And there's another one where you have to ride the bike up a ramp and then take off or eject yourself, and you have these wings that you can fly, and it's how far you can go. You know, they have. I think there's 8 different kind of mini game things like that in the game as well.
That's cool.
I like those. I like those from the first one.
Yeah.
But I also was no good at any of those either. So it's just I need to remind myself by going back to HD and actually finishing the one I own.
Yeah.
And then I'll go into Evolution if I ever get through that. And we know how that's going to go. Don't we?
Oh, we do.
Because I'm pathetic.
No.
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 What happened there?
I don't know.
Let's not do that ever again. Do we only have The Walking Dead left?
No.
You got something else?
I will mention Deep Black episode 1.
Okay, that's right.
The undersea third-person shooter. It's set in the future where apparently it's totally badass to be a deep sea diver or something. And
I don't know.
people.
I don't know where you live now,
But
but it's badass now.
Exactly.
Them and astronauts.
Torpedo was my favorite Joe, man.
See, it's all about Torpedo. Deep Six.
But
No, he couldn't move.
game's,
sorry.
The game's not bad. It's not entirely great either, but you know, it's a third-person over-the-shoulder shooter, and it can be a little difficult. It's got a cover system that you can use underwater as well.
Yeah.
So you can kind of hide behind things. Although you have to really get behind things fast. I don't know. I was playing on normal, but damn, things kill you quickly, and I couldn't quite. Yeah.
Is this a single player game
It's a single player game. Yeah.
only?
I think.
Or is there options for?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. If there is,
And
it's
I
not
didn't look at
available
it,
on the
so-
demo. So.
Okay.
But and you've got like this harpoon that you can shoot out to use to hack things and like hack gates. But then you can also like if there's a robot drone, you can use it to hack a drone. Except that's really fucking hard because you have to shoot your harpoon into the drone and then wait for the little timer to go around before it hacks. However, the drone is also trying to attack you while you're doing this, and you can't go too far away because otherwise you kind of disconnect your harpoon. And so I literally restarted the game 6 times trying to just get past this part in the tutorial where they demanded I hack this drone. Because I'm like,
Craig, if you're not ready to do that, you can't play the full
I must
game.
be doing something completely wrong. I don't know, I must have something completely off. But I just got lucky, and then I hacked it, and then it ran around with me. And then later there's these other drones which they claim look like eels, but I can never see them until they're on top of me attacking me.
Nice.
And so
Those are always awesome.
Then you just spam the B button until and then it auto kills them or whatever. I'm like, So is that just the way I'm supposed to fight them?
Like that's the only way.
Is that the only thing?
It's a reactionary way.
Yeah. I was like, I want to hack one of these, but I never see them until they're eating my face.
Isn't that always how it is?
Pretty much. And there are times there's some fun stuff where you're adjusting water levels so you can get to new areas because there's like a lot of broken stairs, and there's some conspiracy story going on. I don't know. It seems
Hydrophobia.
It seems promising.
Two.
It
Is that what this game is?
It seemed promising. No, it was a little better than hydrophobia.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But some of the stuff just didn't quite work. So
Yeah.
I did not give it a go. I think it's only $10 though. I think it's 800 points.
Okay.
Because I saw that, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll buy this.
Is that about the fourth time you had to reboot it?
Yeah.
You're like, well, fuck this. It's not going to beat me. I'm going to finish it, but I ain't buying you.
Awesome.
That adds the insult to injury.
That's right. That's right.
But
Anything
yes,
else?
now let's talk about Walking Dead.
Let's talk about the Walking
Telltale
Dead.
Games.
Telltale Games, 400 points for episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A new day.
Played it a couple times already.
Did you?
Yeah.
Finish it out?
Yeah.
And play it again?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you purchase it already?
That's- I bought it too.
Buy
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to.
It's really good. First off, the art style works really well. You see a lot of these games try to do a comic book style art.
Yeah.
And doesn't always succeed, but this one, very nice. As
Yeah,
a
the
comic
cell
book
shading
fan,
with like the dark lines.
I
Yeah,
wanted black
like that
and
a
white
lot.
though.
Uh,
I know. Just something to switch over. I wish there would be a little cool option. Not that you have to play black
like
and
an
white,
adult graphic novel.
but I think it would be awesome in black and white because it's got the art style's got this awesome meld between Adler and Moore a little bit.
who are the artists on the comic book?
Yeah, because it's got.
No, I agree.
And
I
I
thought the same thing.
I thought that pulled me in right away. Well, that intro too was cool too.
I was
so.
not expecting it to be a point and click adventure though.
Yeah.
Well,
That was a
the only
surprise
way
to me.
I was because of the Telltale Games, involvement. Because I
okay.
think that's kind of their MO for a lot of their stuff
Sure.
that they've done. But they definitely stepped up. So I wasn't expecting much of the action adventure-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I kind of thought it was a brilliant next gen meld of the two.
because you're moving around at the same time that you're clicking on things. And then how about the combat? That
Yeah.
was tense and really involved, and because I would constantly forget I got to move my right stick,
Yeah,
right.
in order to do things properly.
And it seems like it'd be easy because you just got to hover over it and hit the button, but you're moving against a moving target.
Yeah.
And so while you know where you have to go, it's
And
kind of
you're
disorienting
not sure
at
how
first.
long you're going to have because a lot
Right.
of things are timed.
Yep.
I thought that stuff was really well done. I also thought that the impact was so great because it's not just you hit the thing and it's dead.
No,
it's
yeah.
like a continual in your face. You need to hit that thing 3 times because you're a regular dude.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get it right. You're not
Yeah.
going to just kill this thing. So.
I also like the conversation choices and then placing a timer on that as well.
I thought that was a cool addition.
Which again really places pressure on you, and then supposedly this stuff is going to come up again in further episodes as well. So people will remember things that you do.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that when the first choice came up, and
Yeah.
I saw that thing on the bottom going in, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I only have a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
And then it makes you panicky because you're figuring out what's going on.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I'm trying to read everything and what do I want to say?
Yeah.
I don't know who.
But then I create my character. Yeah,
and then it got
once,
easy.
Then once you have
Then
your
it got
character,
easy.
then you know what you're
Yeah.
going to do.
But when you're in that car at the beginning, because you start the
Yeah,
game where Lee is coming out, or he's getting taken to prison, or leaving Atlanta, right?
Not in the demo.
Not in the demo.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Spoiler.
I just
Okay.
got it.
Okay, yeah. That was what got me about the demo was I played the demo
My bad.
first. I played the demo
yeah,
first.
because I kind of
and
thought the demo was like, well, this seems like it's just jumping right in.
and
And is that because it is?
you
Yeah.
essentially you're pretty much climbing the fence into that backyard.
Okay.
Really,
Well,
it's
that's much more action.
Yeah, because during the intro, really, you've got
You guys are the spoilers.
the setup of the character and things like
in the
that.
middle of the story.
Yeah, so that's why I bought it right. I played the demo
Yeah.
a little bit, and I like the spacing of the demo. The size of it is really nice.
Yeah.
But
It's
that's
about-
when I bought it right away. And then they have a whole intro, and they have credits and things like that,
There's some
which
good
is really
drama
sweet.
in there as well, and
That's the thing.
Yeah.
There is action parts, but it's not action driven. So it's not going to be a first person shooter version of Walking Dead,
Right.
which is what I worry that some people are maybe expecting because it is quite a deep experience and a thoughtful experience,
Yeah.
and it's exactly what is owed to that kind of comic book because
Yeah.
that comic is all about the dialogue and the narrative.
Yeah.
And this game pushes all of that.
And you got to stress that it is comic book. because this is not the television show. Because
I'd say it's a meld of the two, right?
I don't really think so.
Why?
Because the characters you meet,
Okay.
and the times you meet them, and how they act.
Well, it's all pre-comic. I mean, it's during the same times, right?
Yeah, but I don't think
You got me.
I don't want to spoil anything.
I know.
Because you get to meet characters that happen in the
I think
comic
that was
book,
awesome.
and they're also in the television show. But the characters that are in this
Are more comic booky than the television show. I see what you're saying.
There's a couple characters that,
Yeah.
when I saw it, they go off the handle, and I'm like, God, and then I'm like, oh, he was like that in the comic book.
Yeah, not in the show.
He wasn't like that on the show.
I got
He's
you.
like that in the comic book.
I got you.
Yeah. It's just the governor just slashing people. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Spoiler.
It's done, guys. That's it. And there's no more episodes after this one because the
No
governor
more.
kills everybody.
He does. It's done. It's just the end.
Do you know how often they're going to be releasing the episodes?
I thought the thing I had heard initially, like a little bit ago, was one a month.
Okay.
That seems
That's what I expected.
pretty spaced, but that seems like a long time. 5 months from to get it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. So I don't really know what their schedule is going to be. But $5. Here's the thing. I love the idea of the episode.
Like what, 6 chapters or whatever in
5
or 6 chapters?
Yeah, in the first part here.
Episode, yeah.
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 It was about 2.5 hours for me to run through it. I think
The second
2 to
time-
3 maybe.
Second time, it's a little bit
That's
quicker.
definitely worth
I'm
$5.
sure.
And it's fun, though.
And I love that style. We'll talk about that, or we did talk about it before with Azura's Wrath, with the way that they're doing that episodic content.
Right.
And I love that format.
Yeah.
It is so what I'm
Appealing.
into right now.
Yeah.
Like, I need it in that bite-sized format.
Yeah.
And I love the experience. And, you do it and you're done, and then you have something to look forward to next month.
Yeah.
Like a comic book issue, you know?
Right.
And $5 is nothing over time.
Right.
Like, if you do 6 parts or 5 parts, $5 a month, and it ends up being a $25 game, like, I'm fine with that.
Right.
Like, when you space it out that period of time, that's awesome.
Well, the replay value is there,
And that too.
I mean, I've already started. I'm almost done with my second run through on it. Almost. I'm like right up to the end part.
So
if I had,
does it make a separate save file?
Yeah,
There's 3 save files.
Okay,
you got.
because I was wondering how that's going to affect like your conversation choices and all
Yeah.
that.
So I've got kind of a plan for my third one, and my second one I've been having some fun with that. I've been kind of a dick. So
That's the way you got to be.
Yeah.
You be your natural self your first time, then you're a dick the second
Yeah.
time.
Right.
And
And
then
then-
you do whatever's left.
yeah. And
What if your natural self is a dick?
well,
I don't know.
I don't know.
but yeah,
Such are my problems.
then you fight in Bloodforge. But that was the one thing that I really liked about it, because I'm like, well, it's going to be this choose your own adventure
Right.
type of thing. They're going to change things up, and they actually did, which I really like, because some games say they're going to do that.
But you ultimately get to the same point.
It is, and some of that is, and then that was one of the first things that happened. We got to the same point. I'm like, what a jip. But then the second one, there was different visuals, there was different things like
That's
that,
awesome.
and
Yeah.
we didn't get to the same thing.
Plus
I'm
some
like,
of that
wait
stuff.
a minute,
Plus some of that stuff is probably going to come in more in the
Yes.
later episodes.
because you got to think there's some things
The
down in the
full
future,
package,
so
yeah,
you can't
right.
take out somebody and then have that person for some reason show up that wasn't supposed to anyway. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I did have a couple issues that I ran into story wise that were kind of disjointed, and what it was, and maybe it'd be curious to know, since you finished it, if you experienced this at all. You're playing as the main character, but you have no knowledge of your history. So you're kind of learning your character's
Yeah.
history as you're going, but you're playing that guy.
Okay.
So I'm expected to answer and talk to people.
Right.
But some of the answers are things that I literally didn't know about myself.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, should I tell this person this? I'm like, is that true? Because I don't know that.
Well, maybe it's because that way you can kind of forge your character and their character's history.
and it is, and it's how you kind of learn about your character's history by the choices you're given to say. But it's really confusing at
Yeah.
first.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm like, somebody asked me a question, and I can tell them these 3 different things, and one of them I'm like, well, is that a true statement? Because I don't know that.
Right.
But I guess
You're like, let me choose so that I can be spaceborne and all my comrades died in this one battle, but I was the only survivor.
I
Yeah.
inferred through that choice option that
Yeah.
that is the truth.
Yeah.
But it was just odd, disjointed that I'm playing a guy who I don't know who I am.
Well,
Right.
I think that's a really cool part of that intro that's not in the demo, because it's pretty much an info dump, and you can just sit there and not even say anything and get all the info.
Yeah.
Which I really liked about it, and plus then you can sit there and be a jerk. And just the guy's
I
like,
ain't telling you nothing.
you ain't talking. Why aren't you talking? And I'm just like, shut up.
And also, mild spoiler, but that lady with the radio,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand that inclusion at all.
Is it a log lady?
She's trying to use this radio. She's like, I can't get this thing to work. And so you take it and you flip it over and you open up the battery thing and there's no batteries in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, there's no batteries. She's like, oh.
I don't even
like,
know what to look for.
Yeah, she's like, could you find? He's like, I'll try and find some. And she's like, that'd be great because I don't even know what to look for. They're fucking AA batteries.
Yeah, that was.
Who is this woman?
But I mean, that's
Crazy.
That's part of
Log
the
lady.
That's part of the fetch quest type thing.
I know,
and,
but it's like so terribly demeaning.
But spoiler, she puts them in backwards.
And
She's
then
a dumb bitch.
That's
I'm
the
sorry.
thing. Then she puts them in backwards. And they do no help for this lady in the game. That's what I'm saying.
Poor girl.
This is a terrible character.
Yeah, but she's outside of the radio thing. She's pretty awesome.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's
like-
why it's terrible.
And then like you get her inside and she's got this radio.
I don't know. She should have been wearing a helmet. Anyway, so and then why does the guy that the mean guy Lee that you're playing?
Yeah,
Why does he sound like the fucking Old Spice guy?
probably
Old
is.
Spice.
It's not, but he talks like the Old Spice guy, where he's like, "Hey, what are we doing now?"
Yeah,
And I'm like, and because I was playing it and I was thinking that, and I'm like, I can't wait till we're on the show and I can like say that he's the Old Spice guy, which he is. And Erin was sitting in the other room. She's like, "Why does he talk to everybody all sexy?"
yeah,
I'm like, exactly. Thank you. He sounds like the Old Spice guy.
yeah. But that's what
It's inappropriate.
That's what you run into with the voice acting on some of these games when they can't really. I don't know why they just have the one
The deep.
monotone thing that's
Yeah.
going on. So what are we doing? How are you doing? How's your finger?
I found this person. Her parents were killed. Yeah, baby.
He's groovy, man.
Yeah, baby. That's right.
All right.
Look at this zombie. It's like, seriously. Stop
Yeah.
sexing everybody up.
No.
All
You're
right.
not the boss of me.
That's true.
I had a lot of fun.
It wasn't directed at you. I think it's a great format. I
like
love
it.
it. I look forward to all the other episodes.
I'm gonna play.
I love the
some more.
$5 a month. I want to go back and play it again with the other, a different route.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy it.
'cause you can keep,
I'm not gonna buy it.
And I thought that was
gonna buy
Thanks, Wario.
that's a great price point on a game like that you can just sit there and then when you get it all, you can just sit and play it all at once too.
Yeah.
And very cool.
Cool.
And it's Walking Dead.
Well, shall we talk about DLC next? Or
Let's do it.
demos?
Whatever you want to do.
Well,
I don't
DLC
care.
will tie into arcade a little bit better since Sean and I both have Toy Soldiers Cold War
You.
to talk about.
You.
I want to hear about these.
So
2 DLC packs out
I
of
got-
nowhere last week.
I got the
It's crazy.
out of nowhere.
Well, it was. I didn't know anything about it.
No, it has been nearly a year since they released the game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I looked at back
Or
to where I
9
played
months.
last.
And then to put them out
so-
2 in a week, it seems odd. But
You gotta
whatever.
have them both. 2 for 1. But not for 1. For 800. 2 for 800.
Yes.
But back to you've talked about, Craig, when we've talked about downloads and stuff like that, and lately I've been checking out the new stuff a lot more than I used to.
Yeah.
Because Azura's Wrath is one of them. Other DLCs.
Oh, you mean the add-on section?
Yeah, but they need to just. Rock Band, I love you.
I know. Everybody
I know,
complains about this.
It's stupid.
But that just doesn't
For
it makes-
trial and for regular song.
Yeah, I
and
mean-
then double kick button, double bass pedal, and I'm like, seriously, we only get 100 of these on here. Come on,
I don't understand that.
they have the Rock Band store now.
I know.
What?
I just wanted to just join in because you've talked about it. I'm like,
So
I'm like,
frustrating.
I've never really checked it out because I know what game I'm looking for. But then one day I was like looking at all this stuff and I'm like,
DLC shit will drop
Where the hell is this
unexpectedly
shit at?
all
Yeah.
the time, and so like every Tuesday and then Wednesday again, I try to go through and peruse through it all. Just to see if anything.
You guys are
comes
lucky
up.
Guitar Hero's out of business.
Yeah.
That'd be in there too.
Oh, yeah. Rocksmith still kind of gets some out every
Oh,
once in
good.
a while.
That's good.
Yeah.
but anyway, I had to mention that because I was like, where the fuck is this thing at? And I was like, I'm gonna have to actually look it up.
Yep.
Stupid.
But so you
And I
played
can't
Evil
spell.
Empire, and
Yes,
I
I
played
did.
Napalm. Napalm set, as you can guess, in Vietnam. It adds 3 new levels in addition to, I think, a versus level, and then what's the other?
Co-op.
Not co-op.
Survival.
Survival.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Survival and a mini game as well.
Yeah.
The mini game is pretty sweet. It's basically Choplifter.
Nice.
So you have a helicopter and you're trying to rescue as many soldiers as you can, but you're being attacked from different directions. And word of advice, do not take out the anti-aircraft guns. That might seem like a good idea, but then they upgrade. If you kill them, they upgrade.
Oh, nice.
And then they start firing rockets at you. And then it becomes much less pleasant. But
Just let them go.
Yeah, as you grab the soldiers, and if you bring them back to base, then you gain more time and you gain more health. So basically, you just keep playing until you either run out of time or your helicopter gets blown up.
Fantastic.
And you just run around to these 3 different locations, and different enemies are coming. Yeah, that was pretty cool. The napalm, it also adds some new barrages. Well, one new barrage, a napalm run or something, so these jets fly through and just
set everything on fire.
Nice.
Basically. And I had a lot of fun playing through the 3 levels. I actually had not touched the game until since I had purchased it. So I went through the regular campaign a little bit to kind of refamiliarize myself with how to play the game.
Yeah.
What a loser. I can't believe you buy an XBLA game and then not play it.
I played through the demo.
I can't
and I
believe
got that far in, but yeah,
Lame.
I don't know.
I know.
Well, and then as I was playing it, I was trying to figure out, well, what was it that didn't hook me as much? Because when I finally got around to playing the original Toy Soldiers, I was playing the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And I think a little of it is that, well, we talked about on the show that they really ramped up the fun aspects of it. But at the same time, it lost a lot of its challenge. Like, I honestly kind of miss laying down, like, barbed wire to slow down little, infantry guys running through.
Oh, yeah.
You lose some of the that sort of flow of enemies tactics, and it's more about firepower.
Yeah.
And that fits with the theme that
Exactly,
they're going for completely. But you lose it's a bit of a shift in gears, but
It's definitely not as slow.
I'll tell you.
And you're in the
it moves very fast,
and they put you, the first person, they really put a lot of aspect onto that, or
They
a lot
do.
of emphasis onto that. So you're in the shit, and kind of have a background that you throw up. But you're really kind of maintaining everything up front and really focusing on that a lot of the time in this game.
And
I play a lot better with this game compared to the last, because the other one was I got beat up pretty hardcore. This one's a little bit arcade.
More your style.
No, it's definitely far more arcade. And the mini games are a lot of fun and all of that. And I'm having a problem with a glitch for the achievement for beating the boss at the end of the DLC, but and I've tried beating him twice, and I thought maybe I needed to change the difficulty setting, but it doesn't look like it.
No.
Should just be on whatever difficulty setting. So these things happen every once in a while, but
Ma. Yep.
Still on that.
Still on that? I haven't talked about it. He just mentioned something, and I was like, yeah, I feel your pain.
so that's not how you responded.
That's what Mom meant, Mom.
No, I know.
That's not how you respond.
So tell me about Evil Empire.
Evil Empire, a lot of the same things with Napalm, but this was the Ruskies.
Where's the setting? Yeah, okay.
This was the Ruskies.
Are you going into Russia to attack them?
No, you are the Russians.
Oh,
You
nice.
are the bad guys, so you are taking on the good guys. And the new barrage for that one is this orbital laser, which is a lot like the Hammer of Dawn, essentially.
Nice.
Sure. And you're up above, and you're just controlling it. The only problem I have with that is they need to really have like icons on the things you're shooting at, because you can see them, but when you're laying down this laser, it starts kicking up like explosions.
Oh, and then you can't
smoke.
see where you're at.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I'll see this like truck go all the way through it. I'm like, how did he get through it? I'll have to back it up, and that's got it's on like a little bit of a timer. That was a lot of fun. The minigame for that is a whack-a-mole type game where you're the anti-aircraft gun and you're taking out, and that was a lot of fun.
That sounds fun.
It moves a lot faster than you think it would, and then they also throw up like these dolls. You can't hit the dolls or you'll lose time. So I had a lot of fun with that one. And then they added the survival as well, and then the campaign I had a fun time with.
And there are hidden items in each of the ones as well.
Yeah.
I think they're golden dog tags in
Yeah.
Napalm. Is that the same?
No,
for
they're
Evil
I
Empire?
think they're dolls. I
Oh,
think they're
more of the babushka dolls.
Babushka
or the
dolls.
what's that? The nesting dolls.
Nesting doll.
stacking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stacking. That's right.
Was that the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm smart sometimes. But
Way to go.
no, I'm not anymore.
When we were in the train stations in Belgium, by the way,
Yeah.
Erin was like totally lining up everybody who would stack inside everybody. Like if she felt like she was in stacking when we were walking around. Sorry, that's a segue.
No, that's awesome.
That's what we were doing. I walked around the.
That's my stacking impression.
That's how I talked the entire time I was there.
But I hadn't played it since April last year, so it was nice to get back into it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The first part of the campaign.
Oh, that's right, because it came out in the spring house party,
think
didn't
so,
it?
yeah.
No, it was after San Diego Comic-Con last year because I played it at Comic-Con.
Well, then Sean played it in the
I
past.
thought it said 428, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know, maybe it was 8/24.
That might have been right too. Actually, that makes more sense.
I think it came out in July or August.
Yeah, I remember it coming out
maybe
in the
then it was-
summer because it was part of their summer of arcade.
because I got to play it
Yeah,
in San
never
Diego
mind.
and it wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
So,
So it was August, and that's probably the last time I played it because
do you have
I
your
finished it.
Xbox set up for like European
Yes.
time?
Yeah, because I live in Australia in my Xbox.
That's not European.
Austria, I mean.
Okay.
I said Austria. Australia, that's where the prisoners go. Come on. But
awesome.
again, a lot of fun. I got hammered. I mean, just tore up the first part because I'm like, oh crap, I have a lot of stuff to do, and I was like totally forgetting it. I was like doing the first person shooting thing. I like some of the one of the maps it's a great like beachhead type map. And you're like, well, I got this because you always usually have, the higher ground.
Right.
But they had this road that goes up the right hand side. Man, that road. And the only thing that you can put there is like you can put smaller guns there, but you always want to get that big gun for the aircraft that come in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so these tanks are just creeping up that side. You're like, I gotta get over there to fight them. But still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great game.
So 2 $5 packs, 2
Yeah.
400-point packs, both out this week.
Yeah.
And I want to check them both out too. Now that I
If
heard
you
you
like
guys talk
if you
about
like the
them.
game, you definitely should
I
pick
did.
them up.
Oh, yeah.
I loved the game. And you guys said there's 3 different maps for each one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The campaign.
Three different levels,
3 levels
yeah.
you play through. That's
Which
good.
is pretty much their standard from Signal Games. I remember all the DLC that was coming out for the original Toy Soldiers. It's so weird that they waited nearly a year before releasing things because they were dumping, they were dropping.
That's what I'm saying.
DLC every
Yeah.
once in a while.
It's
the
weird to
original
me
one.
that they waited that long and then they put them both out in 1 week.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with that.
No, I'm happy they're here though,
Yeah.
because they're a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
it's just bizarre and surprising.
It is.
Anyway, demos: Dragon's Dogma. Is that right? Dragon's Dogma. Yes, Dragon's Dogma.
You tell me.
It's an RPG, a squad-based RPG kind of, where you have these. I can't remember any of the terminology. I just jumped into it and played it, and it was a lot of fun. I had so
The
much.
end.
Pretty much. I didn't figure out any of the shit that was going on, and there is a ton of shit going on at any one time because you have. Basically, you have like this squad of 4 dudes, including the one that is you, and you're like the Arisen guy or whatever. That's what they keep calling you. And basically, because one of the neat things is that you can create these little sidekick characters, and then I remember this from our forums. This was being pointed out on our forums when Dragon's Dogma was first announced. So basically, then you can kind of have those sidekicks in limbo, and other people can download your sidekicks and they can go off and have adventures and stuff without you.
Are you shitting me?
And then they come back. No, I'm not shitting
I should
you.
read our forums.
You should. And so I like that a lot, but they're all talking to you and they're like healing you and doing their own attacks. And one dude was like, I'll throw you up in the air. And I'm like, how the fuck do we do this? I don't know. I'm just going to go stab this thing. And you have a pretty wide variety of attacks, because if you pull the left, or if you press the left bumper, if you have a shield, you use the shield to block, or if you have a bow, then you pull out the bow. But then you can combine that with different buttons for different kinds of shield attacks or whatever. And then if you press down the right bumper button plus a bunch of different buttons, then you have different major attacks. And one thing that I thought, the monsters were really awesome.
Yeah,
nice.
What really sells an RPG for me is monsters, a good variety, and making them pretty badass. You have 2 little campaigns that you can run through in the demo, and one ends with a battle with a manticore, which is a big lion with a goat head coming out of its back and then a snake for a tail. And then the other one involves a griffin kind of attacking you from the sky. And one thing that I thought was really cool is there's a grab function, and the first time I noticed the grab function was when, because they're like, press the back button to look at the controls, and I did that, and there's like 8 million controls. I'm like,
boy.
yep, learned it. Okay, let's go on. I didn't really learn it. That was me being sarcastic. But then my sidekick guy, like, we were fighting some goblins, and he picked one up, like, from behind, and he was, like, pinning his arms back, and he's like, get him! And so he was, like, holding him for me to run over and, like, slash the guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so there's a grab button. The right trigger is a grab button. And then as we were fighting the Manticore, I saw one of the sidekicks, like, basically jump up on the back of the Manticore and was holding on and, like, slashing his tail. And so you can climb on these fucking things, these big monsters, Shadow of the Colossus style. Yeah. And I was fighting the Griffin, and, like, we would bring it down, and then I'd run over there, and I'm like, because you're like a thief dude with like 2 little daggers, and I jump on its back, and then it would like freak out, and it would fly off, and I'm holding on, I'm like, stabbing you in the wings.
Wow.
It was like super exciting and really, really cool.
And that didn't have to happen, I'm assuming? Or is that like, did it direct you to
No, it didn't. Once I figured out I could grab onto these things, like, I'm always fucking grabbing onto these guys.
But so you wouldn't even have to have that experience?
No.
Okay, that's
no,
awesome.
I could have just sat on the ground
scripted.
and just like shot it at it with arrows or
That's
whatever.
awesome.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a ton of stuff going on, and I don't understand half of what's going on.
But the stuff you do understand?
But the actual battling and the little world that they throw you in, pretty fucking sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Oh, man.
I'm super excited about the game.
I want to check it out.
Yeah, you should.
The only thing I remember from the forums of people talking about it was some kind of trading system when they were talking about like items and stuff like that. And like you can trade stuff in the game with other characters or other players and stuff like that.
That might be connected with the sidekicks or whatever.
Maybe.
I can't remember what they're called. They're not sidekicks, but I think of them as sidekicks.
Sidekicks?
Like if you find these stones, and you can basically just kind of recruit people at that point.
That's awesome.
There's also a character creator. I didn't even bother. I'm like, because it's just a character creator. Yeah. It's like separate from the 2 campaigns, and so I'm like, I'm not going to spend an hour and a half making a character.
That's the only part that Sean's going to check out.
That sold me. Like all the like hopping on griffins. That's pretty badass.
He's never going to get around to it.
But a character creator.
He made a dude.
My guys are awesome looking. Shut up.
I didn't say anything bad.
Yeah. I'm saying.
Why you gotta deflect all your negativity? Project
insecurity.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's it. Project your insecurity, not deflect your negativity.
But then, when I jumped on the back of the Manticore and slayed the goat's head, and so then it was just lolling back and forth on the back of the Manticore, I was just running around. I'm like, this is awesome.
That is cool. Awesome.
The Manticore was freaking out, and they seem to have good tactics too. Like the Griffin would, like if we were getting too serious with it, like it would try to hold back and just swoop at us, like from the air instead. So then I would have to get out my arrows and try to, kind of convince it that was not a good tactic, and then it would come at us again. And yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff going on.
Awesome. I'm gonna check it out.
Do it.
That's cool.
I'll try not to forget.
Just check out everything.
Sounds great.
Basically, apparently, you need to check out everything I played.
I do. Always. All right. Anything else?
No.
Demo-wise, we're good. Moving on to games. Asura's Wrath.
Or hit that beta.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me about this hybrid beta.
This is a disc game?
No, this is...
I'm very confused by it.
This is a hybrid beta. I won a code on the Twitter feed. You could sign up for one. Other people, I don't know. I think you still can. I think it goes through May, I believe.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
But it's a third-person shooter. It's for the XBLA. It's arcade. It's kind of got this like Vanquish type of vibe to it, where you're in a suit. You've got the suit. I really don't even understand what the premise of the game is. If that means, you pick a faction right off the bat.
Okay.
And they have this big world map, and for some reason, this dark matter, Australia blew up, and it caused all this dark matter to go all over the world. And all this bad faction showed up, and I don't know, they kind of named the name of them. And they showed up and won the dark matter. So what you're doing is fighting for the dark matter. And all the continents are separated into these different regions. And then you just pick a region.
So it's Risk.
A little bit, but what you're doing is when I was playing it, some of the regions had already been won out by a faction.
Risk.
I don't play Risk.
It's not like Risk.
No, I need something to work for me, not like I have to imagine what's going on. But what you do is then you kind of just pick, and then you just fight in that. They're mostly team deathmatch is one of them. Overlord, which is like you know, if you kill the Overlord, you become the Overlord, and then you get bonus points. And then King of the Hill, just your classics. And then you just something about getting dark matter. That's like the premise of the game, but that's not what's going on. It's like they have 2 maps that I was playing on. Mostly you start in cover. It's a weird type of game where you're not moving left. You can move left and right in cover. But you're not moving outside of cover. You're not moving the way that you go from one to the other. You find cover, you target it, you use your A button, and that causes you to have this jetpack. This jetpack shows up, and then, well, it doesn't show up. It's on your back. But I didn't know it. I didn't know it at first. I'm like, oh, that's a cool suit. Next thing you know,
jetpack fairy comes down.
Here you go. It's like ding. But then you just fly to that, and you can aim and shoot while you're in air because the A automatically takes you there. So you don't have to. You can just all of a sudden take your eyes off of it. You don't have to control yourself. So you can strafe back and forth, like move back and forth. And then if you hit B, like if it gets like the shit, like you're like, oh my god, I just went into a nest, which has happened. Yeah. You can hit B and you automatically go back to where you had started from. Oh. So the gameplay is a little bit different, and because you can vault the little cover systems, and then I like it, but it causes you to really. It's like you're playing Vanquish on an MC Escher painting, because you can be on the ceiling or you can be on the wall, on the sides of the walls, because there's all these little cover sections.
What it kind of sounds like to me too is it reminds me of those parts in Dark Void when you'd be going up the side of a mountain and you were like kind of underneath those walkways and you were basically jumping from one to the next and kind of shooting at the people, but then you would jump.
It's a little bit
that's how I'm envisioning it.
Yeah, so. But
you do envision a lot of things like Dark Void.
I do.
but it's usually
like taking a shit.
It's a six players. A 3-on-3, so I like that aspect of it because there was a smaller type of group. Yeah. But it causes for some of the gameplay, like you got to kind of look at where people are at and kind of change up your tactics. I like deathmatch the most. A lot of the plays I was playing that Overlord, and I didn't care for it because it's like, oh, your teammate's the Overlord, their teammate's the Overlord. You've lost the Overlord. He's the Overlord, and I'm just like.
It's like playing that on Red Faction. We played the bag one.
Yeah.
Hey, who's got the bag?
Yeah.
What was it? The bomb bag?
Bomb bag, yeah.
You've got the bomb bag. Your opponent has the bomb bag.
He's got the bomb bag.
He's got the bomb bag.
It's just like, okay.
I get it.
Visually, I thought it was really neat. You have your one main weapon. You have abilities. You can either like boost up team abilities, or you can boost up like ammo, armor, those type of things.
Sure.
But there's also another separate section for just that. Because also in your abilities, you gain those as you gain the levels, and you can throw grenades, or they change up some of the guns. You add up guns as you go up in level. But the one thing that got me when I first was picking it is like they showed the 2 different factions. It's red, blue, of course. And then at that time it said, well, pick this faction, you get a 5+ bonus and something else, like experience, you get extra. And then when I backed out and played it again, it was on the other side. So I don't know if that's what's happening on the server. Like all these people are picking this faction, and if it gets too overloaded on that side, they say, hey, well, come to this side because you get a little extra. You get a little, we'll give you a little help. So it looks like this
they're balancing it.
Yeah, and if they're going to keep balancing it, looks like this fight for the dark matter is just going to continue to go.
Well, wouldn't it have to?
Yeah.
Oh, their game would be done?
Yeah, well, that's true. But what I played of it, I thought was really fun. It's just a weird kind of game. Like the fact that it's just jetpacking from cover to cover. It is an arcade game. I thought it was just really tight as a shooter, and I thought seeing the enemies was good. The icons were good, especially some of the abilities. You can like see through walls for a little bit. You can hit that, and then it causes to be a spotter. So it causes you to change up your team because you can change your loadouts each time you die.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Cool. I really enjoyed it. So
I look forward to it. Did it say on there any time that's coming out that you saw?
No, because when you go to look at the game info, it just says play game, delete.
Gotcha.
So I was like,
pretty limited.
So yeah,
they don't say it like the end of the beta.
It's just all verses. So you just keep playing and playing.
Yeah,
and
but usually,
yeah, and then you just
some sort of loaded out screen.
It might be like tick going across the bottom, and I don't those tickers. Sometimes I don't watch them. I like to shoot at them, but I don't watch them.
So. And you don't know how to read, so
that too. That too. Well, not when words are moving. That's just impossible.
They have to be stationary, or Sean can't read them.
Oh yeah, I just don't understand people that can read like
Traffic signs.
That too. What did that say? Which one did that? But then again, when you're going 85 miles an hour, because you can't read the speed limit,
Right.
it's hard to read signs. So.
You're guessing it's 85
And then
miles an hour.
and I'm texting at the same time. So.
But you can't read. So you can
Those
write while
stay
you're
still.
going?
Well,
Those words don't move.
Yeah, those
Oh,
words
okay.
stay still, and I talk.
They're moving at the same speed?
I talk into
Exactly.
I talk into my phone, but
Inertia.
since I don't want people to know I can't read or write, then I talk and
You
type.
pretend.
So people are like, "Oh, he's texting. What a dick!" And I'm actually like talking. I'm like, "Pick up milk." You know.
No, I got
so.
you. Makes sense.
All right.
I don't know
can
what just
can
happened.
we move on?
Please.
Why? That was an
You
awesome
guys, are
train
you guys
wreck.
going to tell me what I thought of Azura's Wrath?
You thought it was,
It was
awesome.
awesome.
You thought you wish you had 6 arms to beat gods with.
Oh, that was close. It was beat off with. We can't count that as a match. Sorry.
Beat off gods with?
Sure.
Okay, sweet.
Everything.
Nice.
And you always bash me for liking Thor.
There's nothing to say that you guys haven't already said about the game. It's crazy, and I've been having fun with it. I
good.
I think the bite-sized format is brilliant.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
like the way that it's done. I think I told you, Craig, I was all the Stanley Cup playoffs are going on, so I've been
Right,
watching
right.
so much hockey that it's retarded. And so anytime they go to their intermission, I fired it up. Like all last weekend, I would just fire it up and play like one of the
That's
chapters.
awesome.
And then I'd be done. I'd be like, all right, and I go back to the hockey game that's back from the intermission.
Did you get any of the new gauges?
I got like 1 or 2, but I haven't done anything with them. I didn't go.
You should
do
switch them
anything
out
with
because
them.
they're very useful.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I was just going through with regular.
Sure.
I guess I should probably look
Yeah.
into what one I want, the ones I have, and see if I can.
Yeah, some
change
of
around.
them are damn helpful.
Is there any reason to not use them? Like, is there anything for going through the game,
No.
like achievement wise, with just the regular one? Or?
Nope.
Okay.
There are achievements for going through with 2 debilitating ones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But no.
Okay. I've enjoyed it. I think I only had a problem with one person so far, where I was having a hard time with that battle.
Yeah.
The dude that has the face mask thing.
Yeah.
Like, first time you see him. And
yeah.
Like, I was having a rough time with that, just because I think that was the
Yasha.
first time you really had to do like a drawn out fight.
Yeah.
That wasn't just,
That is a tough fight.
you just had to get the
Plus,
pattern. and
plus you don't have
everything.
arms at that point, right?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That makes it much more difficult.
So I got about halfway through, I think.
Yeah.
But I've been having a good time with it. It's
Awesome.
I really love all the dialogue, not from Asura. Everybody else is funny because they have all this stuff, and
Yeah.
and it's funny because when the game opens, I'm like, oh, that's the bad guy. Of course, those guys are going to be the bad guy. So I'll see if that pans out. But kind of have a feeling I know where this is going.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I'll play through the DLC stuff. I'll get Sean to play through it, and then we can loan it back
Get
off
it back
you
out.
if you want. Yeah.
That's I'll take a break.
It's pretty sad that I bought it.
It is. You bought the DLC.
Yeah.
and haven't
That's
done
not
it.
sad. What,
But
am I going to hold out on you?
I know, no,
I'm
you're
like,
not. But I
no.
could have waited until I got it. But I downloaded it
You're
just
going to
so
forget.
that
I bought it.
You know what's funny?
I didn't have the game on hand.
But you do own it.
But
Yeah,
you
I
do own it.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
He's presuming you'll still let him borrow it.
yeah, exactly.
That's
I
pretty
could-
presumptuous of him to say that you guys will still be friends
I know,
in
he's a
a
dick.
week. It could all fall apart.
Yeah, we
Everything's
do-
precious.
We do have some time left today. So
We do. Who knows? Anything can happen. So what was the DLC that came out?
It's 4 episodes. It's a DLC pack. I believe it's $7. I
Okay.
don't remember what that converts to in Microsoft
$4.30 or
points.
something.
5.60.
No, it's I think it's like
Yeah.
$5.60. It's 4 chapters that basically there are 3 acts in the main game, and it's a 4th act.
Yeah.
that takes place after the game.
Nice.
And continues on with some stuff that
Like
you
an
find
epilogue?
out. Yes, not gonna tell
Awesome.
too much more because
Awesome.
I'll spoil it.
That's good. Azura's Wrath might be, oddly enough, the game that we talk about every episode for like 6 months.
If they keep releasing DLC like this,
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
exactly.
No, it's great because it's not I mean, it's a game that you can replay, but it's one of those games that people are going to burn through very quickly once they have it.
Right.
And then it's just going to sit on the shelf. And so I'm glad that they're releasing this DLC, rapid fire like
Quickly,
this
yeah.
because, that's when people are going to be still interested in it.
Yeah.
They wait too much long. They wait 6 months. They wait 9 months like Toy Soldiers Cold War and, good luck with that.
And then
Yeah.
push it out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody's already gotten rid of
we
their
still
copies.
don't have the Street Fighter levels yet.
You know, and that's the thing too, is like with those
would be
XBLA games, you can't sell it.
Right.
But with disc games, people will trade that in if there's no more stuff going on, so they won't even have it anymore.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Although you'd be crazy to trade this one in.
Nuts! You'd be fucking crazy.
Awesome.
It is. I mean, for a game that is that exciting, I don't know. There's just something about it, and maybe that's just the mode that I'm in right now.
That's what I'm saying.
You
It's
got
pretty
to play
laid back.
11.5.
Yes, and that was awesome. I totally forgot about it. I didn't get to play it last show, and that was a fantastic. I mean, I liked it a lot better than the 15.5.
It's way better than 15.5.
Which I enjoy.
Yeah. 15.5 is more story.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it, but then you play that one, and I'm like,
11.5 is more character and action. It is out of control.
I was like yelling at the TV. I'm like, leave that poor guy alone. It was like, God, this is a hate crime. It was just like mean, but really fun. I mean, just to pick it up and play it. I mean, that's maybe why I like.
I'm very excited.
All right, I'll finish the show. Hurry up.
We're all just
Jesus.
But yeah, that I mean, when I saw that 4-pack or whatever, just right away, I was like, buy it, and then I'm like, why did I just buy that? I could have spent my money. So I'd actually download more points to get Walking Dead because I bought this before, and when Walking Dead came out, I'm like, son of a bitch, now I got to put more fun on it. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Your mantra is greed.
I was just buy. Oh crap! I don't have the game.
Go.
Let's go.
Impulse.
But it's a game that's not for everybody. But man, surprise game of the year. Spoiler.
Well, there's a long time between now and then.
I know, but something about this game. I wasn't expecting to enjoy.
It could be the next Transformers Dark Side of the Moon. Or whatever that game was.
What?
I said it could be the next Transformers
No, see, because
Dark of the Moon.
you've enjoyed playing this game, and you're not going to berate me for like, hey, what? That game? Stupid.
It's still my favorite part ever
I know.
of the show.
I have that spaced out, and it's what I listen to my motivational tapes in the morning.
To make you feel better.
Yeah, it starts right off. My alarm hits. I go in the bathroom. I'm shaving. I hit my little player. That comes on right away. And it's
Of me
just
making fun of you?
Yeah, and then I got my picture of you in the corner. I grab it. I crush it. Throw it away.
Do you have like a new picture every day?
Summer has to replace it every day.
Just puts a new one up?
every night.
You
she
should
puts a
just
new
get
one
some
up.
printed on like toilet paper or something.
Well, that's someone else's face, but.
You know what you
Listener
should
of the
do is
show,
just
that
call
is.
me every day at that time and be like, fuck you. And then hang up.
No, because then you'd be like, fuck you.
You're still like sleepy.
I would be. I'd be like, what?
You're like, I don't know what this is, but fuck you too. It's like, damn you, Jeremy.
No, I'd probably be like more like, what's up? That's how normally I get called at home, so it's okay. All right. I'm the only other one with disc games, right?
That's correct.
Witcher 2, I can't do it any justice, and it's sad to say because I didn't spend any time with it. I played the tutorial, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Here's what I experienced through the tutorial. Maybe this will come around if I spent more time playing the game. It is super cumbersome control-wise.
Really?
Like, it felt so clunky to me, like the way that they have you do the controls and the different menus that you have to use, and it was like weird things where you have to hold down the bumper to do this thing and then select it with a wheel and then hit a button to like choose this other thing. Everything felt nondescript and really might as well have been in another language. And
That's
so
interesting because everything I hear is that Witcher was really felt more like it was console control directed than it was PC because it was originally released on PC. Yeah.
And see, when I'm playing this, I felt like, yeah, this is totally a PC game.
That's interesting.
So it felt like it was really poorly shoehorned in, and maybe it's uncomfortable at first because there are a lot of weird menu choices or menu selections you have to do. So maybe it just feels that way, and maybe it becomes more intuitive as you learn what things mean and you get into the game and actually spend time with it. I wasn't doing.
They need some voice control,
like a jerk,
like Skyrim.
Like exactly. Have you met? You don't have Skyrim.
I don't have
Never
Skyrim,
mind then.
no.
Because aren't they doing that, or did they do it already?
No, they did it already.
I thought it was patched.
Some menu
out.
control, and you can shout the dragon shouts
with the Connect.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Witcher 2.
I'm excited about that.
I still have it. I'm looking to maybe put some more time into it, but I'm not making any promises because I know how those go. And normally I promise and then just don't do it. Exactly. So this time I'm going to be upfront and say I'm probably not going to do it, but you never know.
But that's so later on you can go back to this show and go, I said I wasn't going to fucking do it, and I did it.
Sure, I wanted to make myself look good. That's what I always strive to do. Successful all the time. Voice acting that I heard so far was good. It looked good. The opening cinematic is maybe the best thing I've ever seen on Xbox.
Ooh. Nice.
It is ridiculous.
Nice.
But then the rest of the game doesn't look like that. So, but it is really good looking, the opening cinematic. It's just really great.
Cool.
And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll see if I got more time. But I also finally got around to some Prototype 2. Which
has it been out for very long?
It just came out this week.
Okay. So finally got around to it.
But I've had it since Tuesday. Haven't played it until last night late.
Oh,
so.
okay.
So finally got around.
All cramming for homework last night.
We were. Got around to putting some time in with it. I had to actually go back to, I was talking to you guys before the show, had to go back to our old episode, like episode 20, when I was looking at Prototype, because I knew I didn't enjoy the game too much, but I couldn't really remember all the reasons why.
Right.
And I think what it boiled down to was I played Infamous at the time. And joked about how we were going to be a PS3 podcast.
Right.
By the way, good to see how that carried through for 3 years. Way to find some
We're
new
always
material.
coming up with new jokes.
Great. It's nice to be reminded that we have no new jokes. That's really great. I'm never going back and listen to those old shows ever again. But I was playing Infamous, and I think there was just a lot of things that I was correlating between the two at that time.
Sure,
and Infamous had done better.
Right.
So maybe having that absence now is making a difference, because I enjoyed my time so far with Prototype 2.
Cool.
I don't know about the story too much. You play as this dude, James Heller, who is a sergeant who has this family, and your family is killed because of the outbreak.
And then he becomes the Punisher.
Sort of. Your family gets killed because of the mutant outbreak thing that's going on in New York, and they're running around. And
he invents Sentinels.
He does. Maybe later on. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. But Alex Mercer, who's the main character in the first game that you're playing as, kind of started that whole outbreak.
Yeah.
So your character Heller in this game kind of blames everything on Mercer, and like it comes out as this big revenge story, like I'm going to go after him and kill him, and but he's supposedly dead from the first game. But in the opening of Prototype 2, you kind of come across Mercer and get exposed to that kind of thing, and that's where your main character becomes now that similar kind of character. And all of a sudden now he's really not focused on going after that guy, and like so it's like it opens up the whole like premises of this game is like this big revenge thing, but it serves to maybe only give him the powers.
The power, yeah.
And now that guy's still there.
You're an open world game,
right? So it's kind of weird.
Didn't you have something similar about that for the original Prototype?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember.
I know we've talked about a game like this where it there's
a story,
an impetus, but the fact that it's open world kind of ruins that.
Yeah, I mean, because then it becomes really just what the first game was about, and that's like uncovering this conspiracy of like the government or this certain group being behind the
you got to go through every person in America discovering this conspiracy one by one,
and that's what it is.
Prototype 3.
I know
now it's forearms.
Now the people
look like spaghetti.
Spaghetti
arms.
I'm not having as much of a control problem as I had in the first one.
That's good.
Because I remember one of my complaints in the first game was being that it just went really fast and kind of hard to maneuver around like precisely. And I'm not really having that problem, so maybe they tighten that up a little bit, or maybe I'm just not advanced enough in my leveling
maybe your
up.
super speed senses have kicked in.
Or maybe I haven't leveled up enough where I'm going too fast, where I'm overshooting everything. Because that could happen. But you're just running around, and like everything kind of seems like it's all mission based, and the running around part's still fun, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, floating around. It kind of has that Crackdown feel.
Right.
I know one of the complaints that I heard on my other show that I didn't remember was that if you put collectibles in your game, you need to make a way to find those. You're notified that those collectibles exist. And I can happily say that that's how it is in Prototype 2. So I thank them for listening to the show and taking my advice, and I'll expect my payment. Not. But no, there's multiple collectibles to get in the game, but you now have like a sensor thing that kind of pops up with your close and tells you how many feet you are away.
Oh, cool.
So I think within 200 feet, it shows up. And then as you get closer, obviously it goes down, so you can kind of pinpoint into where you're trying to go to. There's also, I don't remember this from the first game, there's this hunting mode that you can go into where if you click your left stick, you kind of send out a radar beacon. Everything kind of goes orangish, and it sends out this wave. And then once it pings your target, it comes back from them, like a ring comes back from them. So if you have a target that you're looking for in the city, you can basically send it out, and as long as you're within readable range, you can kind of see what direction it's coming from by the way that the rings come back at you. So it's a really cool way to pinpoint where people are at, and I kind of liked playing with that a lot because I would send it out and I'd know it come back, and I'm like, okay, what direction did it come from? And so then that you can kind of hone down to where they're at. So that's been kind of cool to use and run around. But at this point, I'm just doing generic missions where you're either taking over people because you are still absorbing people, and you can kind of use those as disguises and sneak around. You can absorb people. It's so iffy, though. I mean, that is so action adventure-y in the game, not stealthy at all.
Yeah.
Because it's literally you're walking around and you're doing it in front of people, and everybody's just like moving on with their day. Whatever. It's only if the guards see you is it a problem.
Right.
But if I'm in the middle of like a group of people and I like absorb one of them, shouldn't everybody freak out? And also, like, it only counts if the guards see you. So if there's like other scientists around, they don't really count. So I've done.
Wow.
You have to basically do it outside of the view. So the stealth element becomes when you send out that little honing thing or the hunting thing. It also tells you who can be absorbed.
Okay.
They'll be highlighted in white, and people that are highlighted in red can't be absorbed.
Okay.
And so that'll usually be targets like guards and people with guns and things like that, the security people or the police people. And so you kind of have to go around and systematically get the one that can't be seen,
right?
And then that leads to another one that can't be seen, and you can get them. But like you're doing that in a room of like 8 scientists, and they all can see you. So why don't they give a shit? I mean, if you're one of those scientists, wouldn't you at some point be like, "Hey, that guy over there"?
Really, would you want it to be harder?
No, I wouldn't. But it's just
because that's kind of warp.
I know
what you're trying to get to.
I know
is jumping between guys.
I know. You're right.
Because then they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And then the guards shoot you.
I know. I know. I'm like, it's probably not a legit complaint because it would just make it hard. And that's why I said it became really action adventure-y because it's all about the action at that point and not about the sense that it makes. No. Because the other guys are like, well, I got a job to do. I don't care that guy just got
put on a disguise
absorbed.
And sneak around. I can loan you Saboteur again.
I own Saboteur.
Oh, you own Saboteur. Okay. I thought maybe you rented that one.
Oh, no, I bought that day it came out.
Ah, nice.
I just should finish it someday.
You should.
Still wrapped up.
No, it's not wrapped up.
I forgot what game.
I played.
That's Dead Rising 2.
Yes.
Hey, fuckers! I opened Dead Rising 2.
Oh,
Fallout
good job.
3?
I opened that too.
Okay. You just open all the games now.
I think he was referring to New Vegas. But
So, signedinpodcast.com is our website.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's just
man.
you're just gonna all bang up on me. I'm just gonna end the show. So
Well, that's how the show usually works.
I'm kidding.
All right. Did you have anything else for
No,
Prototype?
I'm fine. Everything's done. No, I really don't have anything else. I'm still muddling through it. I am having fun with it. I wasn't expecting to. I was kind of dreading getting into it, which is why I kind of put it off this week.
Nice.
With other things that were going on.
That's
and
good,
so
though.
when I started it up and played it, I was like, you know what? That's why I had to go back and listen because I'm like, what didn't I like? Because this is okay so far.
Right.
But you know, it is pretty generic, just uncovering this conspiracy so far, and I don't know how much it's going to vary up with the missions, but we'll see.
Okay.
But I'm going to spend some more time with it. So
Cool.
That's it for me.
That's it then.
Except my bruised feelings. You know me,
We'll
Mr.
massage those
Sensitive.
later.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been massaging them all show.
Oh,
Something for the listeners at home. Signed In Podcast, that is our website. Signedinpodcast.com is our website.
That's right.
That's on the internet.
It's on the internet.
You can go to the World Wide Web.
Exclusively
On the internet. If you go to the World Wide Web, any place that is available.
Any location of a World Wide Web.
And you type http w backslash
Not backslash /
.signedinpodcast.com. That will go to our website.
I know. It's a marvel.
It's amazing.
Of technology.
As far as I know, we're the only ones that got that. So, just so you know. There's links on there to our Twitter, whatever that is, Facebook, our Facebook fan page, all of our past episodes, link to our forums, which we would love to hear from you over there, and all of the other pseudo radio shows like 3 Die Block and The Pull List, which you kids do.
Yep.
That's correct.
With some other guy.
That's why we mention comic books every once in a while.
It is.
I can't help but mention comic books. Speaking of which, spoiler, Super Dinosaur in The Walking Dead. Let's move on. Super Dinosaur until he gets a mention in The Walking Dead.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
What?
when I was finishing that, I was like, I hope Sean finishes this because he's gonna love that part.
I mean, it's not a big spoiler, but if you're a big Kirk
you
whore like
ruined
me, yeah, it's some guys at home like, dude, they would dick.
And if that guy is you, email us at comments@signedinpodcast.com. I'd love to share that with Sean about how he ruined you because that makes me feel good.
Get in line.
So, comments@signedinpodcast.com. We'd love to hear from you guys. Email us anytime, anything. But everybody just talks to us online, so it doesn't matter anyway. Nobody emails us because they just talk to us on Twitter or on the forums.
True.
We're too accessible, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We need to stop talking to people. Mm-hmm. That's a mandate that I'm putting out there for the show.
I don't really talk to them. They just hear me
To
talk.
try and push emails. I don't want emails either. So
Yeah. You gotta read stuff. We all know I can't do that.
if you find us on iTunes, please leave a review or at least click on a star rating. That we would greatly appreciate that. And next episode, we'll have some more games.
That is correct.
Yes.
That's as specific as I'm going to get.
I'm gonna try to figure out what this hybrid's about.
You do that.
I mean,
You know what you could do is on the World Wide Web,
I know.
you could go to this place called Wikipedia.
Wikipedia?
Wikipedia.
Yeah, they'll tell me the wrong thing and I'll come on the show and...
That's how it is. It's
And I
all
can't
misinformation.
read.
What are you, like an 8-year-old dude?
Yeah, but then I gotta
I'm going on that Wikipedia?
I'm like, someone read this for me. And they're like, Sean, read.
Oh, my God. All right. Is that it? We done?
Yeah. I'm it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Not it.